Hello, this is Steve Ramona, your host for Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I want to thank our sponsors, Infone, and with Infone, you can place your business on everybody's cell phone, turn their business into a web app, and with a click of a button, they'll have access to you 24/7. And also Pantheon.fm. Have you ever thought about monetizing and taking your podcast to the next level? Well, Pantheon can do that. Let us show you how. Reach out to Steve Ramona, the host, at infone.co/SR1, and I will go over with you how you can make your podcast really stand out. Let's enjoy the show. Thanks again, everybody. Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. This is your host, Steve Ramona. And I always say I'm fired up, but I'm more than fired up. I'm so pumped for this guest today because you're going to learn something. If you're in any business at all, network marketing, solopreneur, big business, small business, doesn't matter. What she's going to talk about today is going to change your life, because I've already shared her with some people that have changed their lives and they've learned about this special way to market. Aveline, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It is an absolute honor and a privilege and a joy to be here.
Well, we appreciate it too here at Doing Business with Servant's Heart. And I want to jump right into it. When we had a talk in the green room, we talked about this, but personal branding, kind of talk about your backstory, what you did marketing and why you came to personal branding.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I don't like even calling myself a marketer, but yet that's the term that we use to describe how we present ourselves to the world. And my backstory, like many people, I went through the corporate world and had a level of pretty big success with a couple of big corporates in Australia. And I finished up with a large bank. And what I did is I developed an employee journey, an experience. It took me 2 to 3 years to do it. And then, in my naivety, I thought I'm going to go out and impact so many more businesses. And I left and went more into the human resources coaching field, but fell into marketing automation. So my background has always been around people, their experience, their journey, how they engage, how they interact, and anything around that. And over time, so I built up a digital agency and we were just selling marketing automation. Nothing wrong with that, right? There's a place for automation, big place. But what I found over time, and we grew our agency, I had a business partner and a team, I was feeling left, honestly, just really soulless. Like it was like my soul was just crying because there was something really missing from the work. People would come to us and say, we just want more leads and sales. Can you build us a funnel? Set us up with a system. Hey, and I've been reading from this guru or this, information marketing guru, direct response copywriter. And, so we were like, I got to a point where I was like, well, that's great, but we actually need to do the strategy first. We need to figure out who your customer is, what your voice is, how you engage with them. And they're like, no, I just sell me we just want the funnel, because that's going to be the thing that makes all the money, right? So we ended up falling into a great kind of arrangement where we got to go to a business school. And my business partner was also feeling very unfulfilled. And we began to go through this process about 6 months before COVID lockdowns. And 2 months before COVID lockdowns, or before the world heard about COVID, really, he decided to exit the business. So I was left. I went through finished the program at the early stages of COVID. It was all done online. And on paper, I had a brand new business. And what I uncovered was actually I'm all about the journey and the engagement. And that needs to be done first. But hey, you can't develop a customer journey unless you know who you are. So if you're a solopreneur, you are the business. If you have a small team, you're still the face of the business. And it's only until you get to around about 20 staff plus that there's probably other faces of the business and you are less of the face. But even still, every person is unique. And I've come full circle in my whole life and career to understand the importance of honoring who we are and not listening to the voices of anyone else. And unfortunately, look at marketing and look at the way that marketing is done. There's norms and fads, and you go to any marketing agency and they'll go, great, we'll do a market competitive analysis, because I used to do those too back in the day. And we'll look at what your competitors are doing, and we'll look at what's different about you, and we'll focus on all of that. We'll go into your benefits and and they will come up with some really fancy words, and you get all excited. And then you pay thousands and thousands of dollars for their services and for their ads and for everything else, and it bombs. And you stick around for 3 to 6 months, and then you know what I mean? And it's just the same thing. And I have met so many people over the years who've gone through so many agencies and never found anything that's really properly worked for them. And that's because every person is unique. Your business is unique. You are unique. So you can't apply the same method that works for someone else to you. But more importantly, if you are not engaging with the world in the right way, when I say right, I mean the most authentic way, then you're not gonna get the right customer.
Right.
If you look at okay, let's say you've gone and invested in money in all these ads, and you're excited and you get these leads in, and then you convert these leads into customers. Have a look retrospectively at how successful those customers have been. If you're a service-based business and you've got to deliver a service, then compare those customers to the customers who were referred to you or that you met organically, and look at the longevity of those customers, and also how much money they spent, and also how quickly, and how much of a pain in the neck they were. I guarantee that the ones that came from your marketing ads are not your ideal customers, because they haven't come to you from a pure natural engagement, because I guarantee you weren't actually marketing you.
Right.
So that's one of the biggest problems. And hopefully those that are listening people can understand this. And if you haven't gone and done the research, go back and research the last 2 years of, if you've been paying for ads and doing these kind of activities to get new leads in, have a look at those customers, do the research, and get really honest about it. To me, that's sort of the proof or the sprinkles of evidence of why this doesn't work.
That's a great idea, because numbers don't lie. And what's the old phrase? People buy through you. And that's kind of what you're doing. It's about Steve Ramona, the realtor. And when we first met, you got me so excited when you used that example. I think the audience would love to hear, Steve Ramona, realtor, and how you work with me when there's 1,000 realtors who can sell that home that's for sale, what you do different.
Thank you. So that brings me to the key point of this is that, right, we're all different. But let's say you are selling the same thing as everyone else, right? You've got a product or a service that's the same. And what happens is most people, 99% of businesses, go out there and they'll try and come up with what makes their service or business better, different color, different flavor, whatever it is. But most people actually are just selling the service, they're selling the product. Okay. And they just talk in terms of their product only. When you do this in your marketing, you are a commodity. And then the customers, the prospects out there that are shopping around and educating themselves will effectively treat you as a commodity, and they'll shop on price.
Wow.
So if you don't want someone to shop on price, guess what? Don't be a commodity then. Now, we've heard about value before. Oh, it's all about the value you bring. Oh, that's part of it. Yeah. But how do you get that? You get that by actually being real, being you. So Steve Ramona, you are not Jane White. You are not Bob Brown, right? Let's say you're all doing the same thing. So there are going to be people that resonate with you naturally more than the others. So you've got to find a way to bring the essence of you to the world first, because people do business with people.
Wow. Yeah.
That's it in a nutshell. So if you want someone to engage with you and learn about you, well, you've got to share you.
I'm blown away right now, because what I'm thinking is the three of us, if my price is more, not all of them will, but they're going to come say, Steve, I want to sign up with you. You're 10, they're 8,000 each, but I come to you because I want to work with you. And that's what you're selling.
Pretty much. Yeah.
The people are
exactly
working
right.
with people. Yeah. And so people can raise their prices, charge more if they focus on personal brand. Of course, it's value. You can't go from 10 to 100,000, be crazy. No. But so what's the other benefits of personal branding, of focusing on you and not the commodity, as not the commodity?
Yeah, there's more. So not only is it about getting the right customer, right? And the customer comes in quickly. So when you engage on that level, on a personal level, and you come at it from why you're in business in the first place. And this is where I take my customers through this process. So anyone can be in business. I just want to take a step back. Anyone can go into a business, but you've got to ask yourself why. And if you are not aligned with the business that you're in, then it becomes a money-making venture, and it might be a struggle to actually make that work. So often the people that are in business, we're in business because we have a skill, we're an expert in something. And hopefully that's why you're in business, because you enjoy what you're doing. So I tend to work with people who are there for a reason. They enjoy what they're doing, rather than an entrepreneur who's just bought a business because they want to make it, a lot of money, and then they want to sell it and move on. That's not my customer at this point. So when you're aligned with who you are, as in you tap into the genius of yourself, why you're in business and what the world needs around you, and you've got that beautiful alignment, that's when you wake up every day and you're supercharged. That's when it doesn't matter if your meeting is at 7 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock at night. It doesn't matter. Or you have an idea, you jump out of bed. I used to hear about this. Like I hear the odd person talking about, when they got into that inspired sense of passion for their business, and then they would just do whatever it took. And I'd be like, oh, that'd be so cool to be there. And I wasn't at the time, because I was in a business that I was good at. Marketing automation was technology. I'd been working with technology for years, yet I wasn't in alignment. And nobody told me I needed to be. There was, through all the journey and all the business events I went to the States, I went to programs, I did all these things, and nowhere along the way did I get taught or shown that it was really important to have that alignment.
Huge. It's the game changer. Making it or not making it. And I can see your personal branding helps you align with the customer. Is there also the true that when you sell through a personal branding marketing, that your client will stay with you longer?
Yes, it is. Longevity.
Talk about that.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, you think about this. If you go out to the market and you're presenting who you really are, and you've tapped, not only that, but you've tapped into your reason for being, you've got a bigger purpose. Let's talk purpose. And that's different from the why. Okay. We've all done Simon Sinek's start with why, which is great. And we've evolved. Okay. I'm going to say our society, we've evolved to a point where I think how do I put this? On some level, we care about others a lot more, and we're becoming more aware of the impacts of business and community, society on the world in general. Yeah. We're aware, we see these messages about climate, and all these impacts of things that happen, and we're starting to realize that we've got a voice, And we're hopefully accountable people, humans. Okay. So what I'm saying is that every single business owner has the ability and the power to make an impact in a way that maybe they don't realize. But small business is the most powerful force of change in the world. I'll say that again. Small business is the most powerful force of change in the world. Why? Because you get to choose what your business does, who it impacts, where you put your money. You know, it's not the corporates.
Yeah.
It's small business.
Yeah.
So when you are deliberate and conscious and you are tapped into not only your purpose and your reason for being in business, it becomes you're like this vibrational magnet for people who align with you. You know, we're all energy, right? Hopefully your listeners get this. We're all energy.
Yep.
So when your vibration, your energy is in alignment with who you are and why you're here, and you're serving that through your business in some way, there's this undescribable magic that happens. And this is where synchronicities happen. This is where people walk in the door or ring you up, or you get this introduction. And you're all probably nodding and going, yeah, I've experienced that. Yeah. That's what happens. And not only that, they'll sign up faster. I'll have meetings where I'll be, this has happened to me, and it happens all the time now. And all I have is a short conversation, and I've got someone saying, oh my God, I've got a large company. We are signing you up, and I want to, work with you for the next 2 years. Right? Like that. No,
Powerful.
It's powerful. So they come to you fast, and they believe in you, and there's a heart connection because it's not based on just the trade of the service.
Not transactional. It's heart-based, which is so well said. And that's what you build the marketing around. Yeah, because you're right. Because people go, okay, you sell a widget. Here, we'll do a funnel. We'll get out to 100,000 people, and you'll sell 10,000 and make $1 million, let's just say.
Yeah.
But they're just buying a widget. If you don't have any of the widgets, all these different things can happen, but they're not really going to stick with you. But you send that message out in a funnel about heart-based.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking with my podcast, it's grown so fast because my why is I want to reach out and promote more people like I'm doing with you today. But two, my purpose is to teach people about serving instead of selling. And now I realize why I'm growing. I'm following your lead, and I'm have this, top podcast. This is why I want to have her on, listeners. I'm looking at the camera because it's working for me. So I'm a client, not a client, but kind of client, but I'm listening. Before I forget, oh no, I get it. And I could talk to you all day. Let's do a shout out because you've put so many golden nuggets out there. People want to reach out to you. How can they find you?
Oh, wow. Okay. So I've got a website called journeypoint.com.au. And I also have LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. Aveline Clarke. There's only one of me, which is really handy.
Yeah.
So, I'm on Instagram. I've got a personal account on Instagram. And I also run the 6-Star Community and the 6-Star Leaders podcast. So, and that's all about people who are wanting to be around people like us, right? They want to become more 6-Star. They want to bring more purpose, love, and impact into their business and do business on that level, and rather than just the transaction.
I love purpose, love, and impact. That's a tagline right there with marketing, because you don't hear that a lot, especially love. Marketing and love don't usually go together when you hear that.
Yeah.
Well, I fell in love with your business when I first met you. I'm learning even more. So this is what I'm going to do. This is the surprise. Listeners, the first 5 people that reach out to Aveline and mention my name or podcast, you get a $20 Amazon gift card on me, because I want to open the door for your business. I want you to think about it. You're in business, and you're starting to keep people for 2 years, and they're signing up quickly, and your income is increased. What she's charging is going to be nothing to compare what you're going to get. But you're also doing business with a heart People's never going to go to you, you're ripping people off, because you're doing it from you as a person. And that's what I love about this. You actually serving your clients with your service. What do people do wrong with personal branding?
They try and put themselves in a box. They try and copy what they see other people do. And if that's not really who they are, then the personal branding doesn't work. And we, the consumers and other people looking, we pick it up. We can see there's something not resonant. There's something, it's just not in alignment. And, you just know, you kind of go, there's something off there. The other thing they do wrong is they take on a new brand or a persona, and they don't stick with it because they don't believe in it. It's not really them. So they'll do it for a little while and then they'll stop.
And that's also people telling them, hey, Steve, you need to be this guy, not this guy. I think more people, without doing the work with somebody like you, or at least they're not working with you, doing the research to see if that's the right move.
Yeah.
We're running out of time here, but there's one word I want to talk about, which has been talked about a couple times in this show that I want the listeners really to grab onto, is authenticity is so important. Talk a little bit about that, how you help with that.
Thanks. It is a cornerstone of everything. Really is. This is, and it's the antithesis. It's the antidote to common marketing problems. Authenticity simply means you being in your integrity of who you really are and being able to communicate that and express that to the world. The key is being brave enough to, first of all, do that. Second of all, being brave enough to do the introspection into yourself. That's walking into the bathroom, looking in the mirror, saying, good morning, Aveline. I love you for exactly who you are. Just try that. If you haven't done it for a while, it can be quite confronting. Why do I suggest this? Because this is what's going to bring up all of the limiting beliefs, fears, excuses, and judgments you've got about yourself. And they're the things that stop you being authentic. They stop you from coming out and expressing who you really are. And that, then you're behind a wall. Authenticity means you have it's the permission to be yourself. You weren't born to be anybody else. You're born to be you.
Yeah.
So tap into who you are, figure out that genius, and be you. It does require a bit of work, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. And this is not something, we make it sound simple, you do, but again, it's work and getting the right person like you, or whoever it may be. I'm hoping it's you. And the last point to that is, because you're authentic, not everybody's going to like you. And that's okay, right?
Oh, it's perfect. It totally is. It's great. Look at it this way. You don't want the person that doesn't align with you, because they're going to end up being not a great customer. They might complain more. They might not spend that much money, or they might just not do what you say, and they might just leave early, right? That they are not your ideal customer. You want to be authentic, because the person that resonates with you is going to find you faster. They're going to come to you quicker, and they'll stay longer.
And more
That's
referrals.
what you want. More referrals.
And forgot about the referral part. I wanted to add that, because everybody that loves you, it's like anything. Hey, you got my best friend. You need my best friend. Same in business. Oh my God, you mean Aveline? This is what she did for me. And they sell your business for you because they love you.
Exactly.
God,
exactly.
Okay, we got to end the show, and I don't want to, but we will have you back for part 2 if you're okay with that.
I'd love to. Yeah.
There's a lot more we can cover. And I want to thank you for being authentic yourself, being very transparent in what you do. You let your secret sauce out there, but you can help them.
Yeah.
We can't do this on our own. We need help, whether it's you or somebody else. And like I said, get that $20 Amazon gift card. Talk to Aveline. I want to pay some people. Let's do it.
You're amazing.
Oh, no, thank you. You are too. That's why we're a good team. So let's do one last thing. I'd love for you to do one tip that can help the audience, that they could take with them.
Right. Gosh, I've got so many. Let me think. This is okay. So this is a tip. I'm trying to think of something constructive. I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. Look at your clients. Look at who you are enjoying working with and ask yourself why. What makes them enjoyable to you the most? And drill down, become really analytical. And then look at the clients that you're not enjoying working with and ask yourself why. And take the time to do this, like write it out on paper or a whiteboard, analyze it, look at the things, figure out all the things that you enjoy. And then on next to that, look at, well, what are the things that I ideally want in a client? And they should match the things that are in the clients that you're enjoying working with. And then look at how many clients over the last 2 years I've had who have been the not enjoyed or the enjoyed. And what's the percentage? What's the breakdown? And then where did the clients come from that you're not really enjoying being with? Where did the other clients come from that you are enjoying being with? It'll give you clues, okay? We're mapping, we're exploring, we're looking back, and we're doing a bit of history, a bit of research. And then you want to look at what did I do to get these clients A, the not so good ones, or clients B, the good ones? What was I saying? How did I show up? And what was I promising? And be really honest with yourself. And hopefully you can remember what you were saying, how you showed up in the world, because that will give you a big insight into why they are with you now, why they're not enjoyable, and why they are. And how you show up in the world, here's the thing, is so important. And this goes back to why most marketing sucks, doesn't work that well. Because if you go to the world with a promise in language that's not yours, in marketing hype that's, full of explosive kind of words that lure people in with the desire to get them in quickly, you're the one that has to deliver on that service. So the moment they come into contact with you, you've got to live up to the promise of whatever that marketing promise or message was. How in alignment are you? How congruent are you with that marketing message? So is it going to be a big shock when they come in and they meet you from what that marketing message has been? So everything I've just said in the last couple of minutes, it's all about introspection. It's about doing the work to take a look at yourself, how you show up, and using the evidence of your current clients to give you clues around what you've done well and what you've not done well. And get real with yourself, because you deserve to have all the clients that you enjoy and none of the other ones.